In 1822, Charles Babbage designed the difference engine. It was a mechanical calculator that required a specific set of physical instructions to perform its mathematical tasks. By the 1950s, giving a computer instructions still involved the manual labor of walking up to a switchboard and plugging in patch cables to connect circuits for a specific calculation. To solve specific math or business problems, pioneers like Gene Sammet developed the first major programming languages, such as Formac and COBOL. These were step-by-step instructions translated into holes punched into paper cards. Early programming was a process of manually configuring hardware to do exactly one job. This physical limit created a massive bottleneck. The next stage of progress required a way to organize human logic that wouldn't collapse under its own weight, no matter how powerful the hardware became. In the 1960s, hardware capabilities exploded. Machines suddenly became vastly more powerful, easily outpacing the ability of programmers to control them with low-level, machine-specific instructions. This chart shows the exponential growth of hardware capabilities, intersecting with a line representing human productivity. When developers tried to write large-scale projects using basic machine-level code, they encountered catastrophic bugs, missed deadlines, and massive budget overruns. The industry called this the software crisis. To survive this collapse, developers needed a way to separate human intent from hardware mechanics. They needed abstraction, a layer between the programmer's logic and the machine's physical circuits. Realizing our digital ambitions required a way to communicate that didn't crumble as instructions became more complex. In the early 1970s at Bell Labs, Dennis Ritchie faced a specific challenge. He was building the Unix operating system, but he didn't want it permanently tied to one specific machine architecture. To solve this, Ritchie evolved an older language called BCPL into a new language named C in 1972. It offered a fast, powerful way to write instructions that weren't locked to a single piece of hardware. This flowchart shows a single block of high-level C code splitting off and compiling into 3 different versions of machine code for different hardware shapes. C introduced abstractions like dynamic variables, which can be created while a program is actually running, allowing programmers to write their logic once and deploy it across entirely different machines. With C, developers proved they could write complex, reusable system tools, decoupling software development from strict hardware limitations. By the 1980s, software projects grew to millions of lines of code. Traditional languages like C required developers to write long, sequential lists of instructions. At that scale, the code became a tangled, unmanageable mess where fixing one bug often caused 3 more. A new organizational approach emerged from early experiments like Simula 67 and Smalltalk. In 1983, Bjarne Stroustrup expanded C to create C++, fully popularizing object-oriented programming. A tangled web of code lines organizes into neat, isolated 3D boxes, packaging data and functions into discrete objects. Because they don't expose their inner workings, you can safely swap out one box while the rest of the system remains perfectly operational. This organizational abstraction provided the structure required to build massive, multi-author software ecosystems without them crumbling into chaos. Another historical path to fighting software crashes emerged from mathematics. Functional programming traces its roots to Alonzo Church's lambda calculus in the 1930s and John McCarthy's creation of Lisp in 1958. Devolving through early languages like SASL and later Miranda, crystallizing with the release of Haskell. Instead of writing sequential steps that constantly change the program's state, developers write code as pure mathematical functions. A traditional variable box on the left is overwritten and turns red, causing a bug. On the right, a functional equation cleanly takes an input and produces an output without touching external boxes. Pure functions have no side effects, making them entirely predictable. By strictly restricting how code changes state, functional abstraction eliminates entire classes of software crashes before the program even runs. The foundational methods of the 70s and 80s gave birth to the second major wave of languages in the 1990s. Languages like Java, Python, and JavaScript borrowed the best elements of C, object-oriented, and functional programming to build the software for these mainstream desktop PCs, and eventually the Internet. Today, our computing environments look like these endless racks of modern servers. Our code is no longer self-contained. It lives on a sprawling web of cloud platforms, AI models, and global databases that must all communicate in real time. This level of interdependency means a single bug in one remote service can cascade through the network, triggering global airline groundings or banking outages. This is the modern software crisis, a landscape where massive interconnectivity has made our systems increasingly fragile and difficult to secure. Despite decades of incredible abstraction, the tension between human ambition and software complexity remains undefeated. The history of programming languages is the story of our survival against the escalating complexity of our own ideas. We design these tools to scale our own cognitive limits. As we move toward the invention of quantum and biological computers, we will require entirely new, perhaps natural, ways of thinking and communicating with machines. As long as we push machines to do more, the crisis of complexity will loom, forcing us to invent new languages just to keep up with our own minds.